Hey everyone, it's the Joy and Resilience Practice Podcast. Today's episode, we're looking at how you thrive one story at a time. Today's episode is Rising Resilience, Living It Forward. And this is our final episode in this first series, and I'm Mike Cameron, your host. We started by talking about being rooted in joy. Then we moved into what resilience really looks like, and then into building sustainable capacity. And today, this is where it all comes together. Not as a perfect ending, but as a way of living forward. Because resilience isn't something you arrive at. There's no moment where you think, all right, I've got it now, fully resilient, nothing can shake me. If you've reached that point, please let me know what you're doing because I'd like the rest of us to have a copy of that plan. But for the most of us, resilience looks like learning yourself over time, adjusting as you go, letting go of what doesn't serve you, and building something that actually fits your life. It's quieter than we expect, more personal, less about proving something, and more about living something. So this episode is about that shift, what it looks like to carry joy with you, respond to life instead of just reacting, and create a life that supports you, not just one you survive. Sometimes it's in big decisions, and sometimes it's in small, everyday choices that bring you back to yourself. So let's get into it. Today, I'm joined by Rob Baker.
Good afternoon.
How you doing, Rob?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, Rob, I know you know that I know you.
Yes, we know each other. Yes.
We know each other well. Can you introduce yourselves for our hundreds of listeners that we have?
Our dozens.
Dozens of hundreds.
Sure. My name's Rob Baker. I am a teacher by trade now. I've had to pivot a couple of times in my life. I'm a university educated, raised in Quebec City.
All right, the
so
Quebecois.
if you want immersion, go to an environment that is totally the language that you want to learn.
That's great.
And then I lived in Ottawa. I'm sorry.
C'est fantastique.
C'est fantastique, oui, merci. When I had a choice to make between Acadia and RMC, I chose Acadia, and then ended up in Ottawa for 6 years, Vancouver for a couple of years, and then kind of life happened.
Life happened.
And expectations weren't met in my life, and I had to pivot. And so I came back to the Maritimes, to Acadia.
What time, like what year are we talking here?
This is 1998.
Oh, late 90s, okay.
Late 90s, yeah. I was married at the time, and my wife and kids had come back to the Maritimes because she was a Valley girl. And I was flying between Vancouver and Halifax every 3 weeks to see my kids.
I didn't know that part of the
Yeah,
story.
I know. So It was like, okay, well, I had to make a decision. Do I stay in Vancouver with the very rewarding financially job, but Vancouver, actually BC means bring cash.
Bring cash.
Bring cash. Or do I, respond to what my core values are and actually look at those and say, well, my priorities are to be a good father versus a good money earner. So I decided to give up the job, move back to the Maritimes, drove right across the country
changing
again.
Geography is one big pivot.
And then you get back here and you go, okay, what is there? What skills do I have? Je parle français, merci.
Oui.
So I knew that they were looking for teachers in French, math, and physics. Math, I don't math.
No math.
Physics, I don't physics, but I enjoy physics. But so I ended up back here. God sent me an angel, and she is my rock, the center of my life.
Oh,
and we've
yes.
had children together, and they are amazing.
Yes,
so kids will
concur.
amaze you.
Yes,
Yeah.
You've got great kids, and I know who you speak of. We're talking about you, Carolyn. Yes, and I've known her for a long time. So I think you guys are a great match. You really are.
Well, she. Speaking of matchmakers, it's all her mother's fault.
Oh, it's all her.
Yes, my parents met at church in Quebec City. Mom
yeah.
from Wolfville, dad from Niagara Falls area.
Oh, right, okay.
And I met my wife in church.
Oh, the church.
The church. So you got to get out of the house, folks.
Get out to church.
Get out of the house. So when I got back here, I had what skills do I have? Well, there's not. I was in industrial sales at the time, and there's not much industrial sales happening.
So when you moved back, you weren't a teacher at that point, is what you're saying?
No, I had to go and say, look inward and say, what color's my parachute?
All right.
So I became a teacher because, well, I was dating a teacher, and she said,
Okay.
well, I'm going to marry a teacher. You have to decide if it's you or not. She knows my material. She's heard this before.
Oh, she's heard that
She's
before. I'm just
cringing.
going to ask you that.
But
okay, so this is
so then I became a teacher in French.
Yes,
and then
which was a definite need.
in this area.
Still is.
Yeah. And so 20 plus years later, my body decided that I can't be in a classroom for extended periods of time because I'm into the late 50s. And
Ain't nothing wrong with that number.
ain't nothing wrong with that number. But, there's, some benefit to that, too, is that because I've pivoted before,
Right.
I can pivot again.
Right.
So
And you did resilient
I
things.
have, and you know what? When you do that, opportunities come your way. There was an opportunity to run in an election, and I was lucky to get elected
Right. So
town
you're
councillor.
describing what else, what
Yeah.
other things you're up to. Yes.
Yeah, and actually, my parents are still in Quebec City, as is my family. But my wife's family's here, and her parents are aged,
Right.
and they need help. So for an extended
all
period
do.
of time, post COVID and whatnot, I was assisting with him until his needs were more than the family could handle at home, and now I'm helping in all sorts of ways.
Yeah. So you've described a lot of things about your life path and choices you've made, and it does ring with what we're talking about, that whole resilience piece. Because can you speak to Rob about your journey through some of those pieces, how difficult they were, or how easy they were?
You
And
want
you were
tears?
starting to touch
Is that
on
what you want tears? Do you?
Oh, maybe we want tears. Tears are okay. But sort of picking a couple of those pieces and what came of those events. Like you said, you described. I heard you
Yeah.
talk about opportunities that came.
Yeah.
So
when I hear the word resilience, to me that sounds like you survived something, right? And to be honest, my focus, I guess, in the last 5 years is to define the difference between surviving and thriving.
good words.
Because the road I've taken, there have been times when I've had to survive. You have to sit back and lick
Gotcha.
your wounds and heal yourself physically and psychologically.
I like that. That's
and
great.
then when you have the chance, when you're building that momentum, then you have a chance to say, okay, surviving's not enough. I want to thrive.
I like that.
And how do I do
Surviving's
that? And
not
what does that practice look like? Luckily, through the Transcendental Meditation organization, tm.org, if I can plug them.
Yes, sure, plug
I've been, and my wife has been doing meditation since she was, well, let's call it the late 90s again.
late 90s
so
again,
we're not
we're
going to
back
say
there.
how old she is. But yeah, and so she introduced me to TM, and then I started that about 15 years ago when I was having a really difficult time in my life. And just that,
And you're saying that was a new practice for you?
that was, yeah. So people call it, mindfulness, but it's really weird the way the brain works. It's even somebody I met said, your brain is weird, but it's fantastic. It can do some wonderful things.
but
And
fantastic.
meditation allows you to do that. There's, some great coaching here in the Maritimes, but the difference between mindfulness and meditation is that for a guy with ADHD, you don't force it.
Interesting.
There's this, focus on your breathing. Focus on your, what? Breathing? What? I can't even think about my toes right now.
It's scattering around. So
That's right.
how did you work with that? How did you find that? You said ADHD. How did it, because you've been doing it for 15 years, so you figured something out with it. Because obviously you kept practicing it.
I'm not a devout Catholic or a devout anything. So I use it when I'm needing it.
You can
It's
sense
sort
it.
of one of those things in my toolbox. But also when you have the opportunity, you're in the woods or you're on a beach and you're going, okay, here I am. Ooh, nice wave, rock. Ooh, wave. Oh, what's that? Okay, chill, dude.
Nice wave, nice rock. I love it.
Just chill.
Chill.
What is it right now? What are you hearing? What are you smelling? What are you feeling? How cold is it? What's blowing over your skin? Like taking that time, and then once you allow your brain to process in meditation,
Processing, yeah.
same thing with sleep. Why do people need sleep? Well, it's so their brain can process what happened during the day.
Exactly.
Because if you don't get that sleep, you carry that into the next day.
You're creating a deficit, and you just enhance what's going to come at you in the worst ways, I think. If you're not getting proper sleep, what comes at you may come bigger because, like you said, you haven't processed through the brain.
You need that rest, and you need to do that for yourself. So, this whole idea of our job defines who we are.
Yes.
Right.
That's a great point to bring up.
Who we are as a family defines, your father's a chemical engineer or an engineering chemist.
Or town counselor.
Yeah. So whatever it happens to be, then people are just going to try to pigeonhole you according to that. So you must be an engineer. And my dad thought I was going to be until my physics teacher who said, he don't physics too good.
He doesn't physics.
Yeah, not everybody's going to be an engineer. So, so I have my own skill set, but I am my own person.
Which is part of the things we've talked about in the past few episodes with Laura, with Julian, and with Alex, who was the first guest, which I didn't let him know he was going to be, but
lucky guy.
We sprung him in.
Lucky guy.
Look at him like, yep. I'm hearing from you, Rob, sort of like resilience isn't built once, though, that it becomes something, because you said to survive, to thrive, and I heard you mention toolbox as well.
Yeah.
What are things that you plugged the site already, but what are other things when you're mentioning, knowing yourself in regards to resilience? Because mine, and one of the more recent things I can bring up is last summer when I was struggling, you were one of those, if I may use the word rock, someone to be able to actually, touch base with or be there or just extend that thing. Even last year when my father had passed, why are we doing trivia? Why am I involved in trivia? You and Carolyn extended that I shouldn't say an olive branch. There wasn't a fight, but
could have been. It's going to be tonight.
It's going to be a fight tonight when we're winning trivia.
Risky quizness. Let's go.
Risky quizness. But that just the offering, we made that sort of like, let's do something. And you two had suggested, let's do trivia. And for me, it's actually part of my resilience of, hey, it's something with people I enjoy being with. I get to use the brain. We get to debate if it's, what was the one? Jane Goodall or Aunt May that made the answer, or
well, we get to be silly too, and we get to have that joy in our lives. And sometimes, and I met with a friend yesterday who was struggling as well, and it just maybe I recognize that there are times where people have been there for me, and I'm not. That's kind of I don't like that word. People have come forward to support me when I've struggled. And boy, when your kids got cancer, as my son did when he was 11, and praise the Terry Fox Foundation and all those who have run over the years, who've raised money for cancer research, he came through it with flying colors. Yeah. And but when you're struggling like that, oh boy, do you find out who your friends are? Because the ones who you thought were your friends fade away right away.
Yep.
Because they can't handle it. They're struggling on their own. And you have to be in a place, now maybe I need to forgive them too, but you have to be in a place where you're able to be that stability, right? Because if you're drawn into the drama, if you're drawn into somebody else's struggle, you're just another friggin' weight around that person's neck. Right?
Instead of doing things that I've learned through that, and I try harder to do that sort of thing, is, hey, Rob, you free? Yep. Can I have your ear for a second? I need to vent. And I've learned in the other role of saying, okay, Rob, you need me? So when you finish talking, do you want me to just listen while you talk? Or at the end, do you want me to pat you on the back or give you a direction or give you some,
I can tell you what I don't want.
Some information.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you, so I know my role when you're saying it, not like you said, jump in and then pull the conversation over to me when you actually just need me to be present and there. You were going to say something. I guess
the thing that I've learned in those conversations is don't try to fix me.
Right.
And respect that other person's pain. Honor that the fact that they've drawn you in at their weakest moment and said, Can you just listen?
Can you just listen?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's important. That
Yeah.
boundary piece you've mentioned.
And that's not something that's something that's been modeled for me. My aunt and uncle are fabulous supports in my life and have been when I've struggled the most. And you know, it's that sometimes you don't feel that those pieces are going to be there until you test them a little bit, and you try and you reach out and you're like, wow, this is an incredible support. I didn't know that was there. And you know, you build from there. You build relationships, you build love, and I think that has gotten me through a lot of it.
Yes. Yep.
Because people will say, well, I like you, I appreciate you, I want to be around you, but when things really get tough, are they
Many of
there?
them disappear.
Yeah. So
For
again,
that time?
But sorry?
For a certain period of time, or like, what would you say?
I don't know. As I get older, I think sometimes friendships are convenient, right? If you happen to be, you know, you have children, you have friends who go to the same Lamaze
Right.
group, who go to the same preschool, who go to the same PTA, and all of a sudden your friends are the kids' friends. You don't know what Mike's name is. You just know he's Kelsey's father,
Right.
or whatever. You know, so it's like, yeah. So it's not until you make those connections as a person, you know.
Right.
We have a friends say this, you know, the women get together and hope their husbands will get along. we don't have a choice, but
Yeah,
you know,
I
it depends on what your friendships are like.
Yeah, and you're hitting on another part. Like, I had taught in Fort McMurray and moved home, and like I've said to people in what I've learned, and in reference to what you've touched on, is there is a changeover in friends. It doesn't mean it's like I said before, not a fight. Sometimes it is, but you just mentioned family or geography, or sometimes life just, you're at different places, different times. It doesn't mean you're still not friends. You just might not see them or hang out all the time. And I've tried to work on myself in being around people that I have said are low maintenance, high quality. And it doesn't matter. And I figure you and I are kind of like that. We just pick up. Like, whatever the joke was last time, we're probably going to have another joke tonight that comes out. And it's that joy and fun. And like you said, knowing that you have how many kids?
5.
Five? And they're, what are the ranges?
The eldest is 32 and the youngest is 21.
So you got
32
21 to
this year?
32.
Yep.
So you have people that are immediately in your innermost circle.
Yes, very much
And
so.
you are an adult, you are a town councilor, a teacher, and are talented in so many ways.
Well, thank you very much.
There are, I like that. That was a very
That
good
felt
impression.
That felt good, Mike.
That was
I
a
like
very
that.
good impression. What'd you think, Alex? Was he okay with that? Yeah. So in talking about the joy and resilience and how they're actually not separate, I think they're connected, because I want to be around people that I can have fun with and sort of
Yes.
not be the public facing teacher, right? You
Yeah.
can have some of that, but and even the town councilor.
But that public facing is important, though, too. I think I've learned strength and resilience in people who've modeled it for me. So I take that as a responsibility to model it for people who I care about. So if that's my kids who are now all adults, you know, what is
kids
that?
are all adults,
What does that look like for them? Like, you know, I'm uncomfortable with this discussion that we're having. Can we sit down and talk about this?
Right.
And this is the way I'm feeling. And can you, you know, okay, now I know that it's your turn to talk. Now let me just mirror that back to make sure that I understand.
The comprehension piece.
We're intelligent people, but when it comes to emotions, sometimes we're stuck
With
at a
regulation.
certain emotional development
I
level.
would totally agree.
And
I like that. That's a great phrase.
Often trauma does that to you, right? It keeps you at that level because you can't move beyond
In
that
the
trauma.
survival mode. Yep.
Yeah.
And doing what you know.
Well, actually, one thing that Eating Disorders Nova Scotia's conferences have taught me is that you will always go back to the same, I don't want to call it a rut, but if you can imagine you're skiing down the same ski hill all the time, and your skis fit nicely in that path. And here we go, right? It's back and forth. We know
Yep.
the rhythm. We're in that path. And so when things get tough, the course gets slushy or the corn type of ice,
Yep.
you're going to stay in that path. you're not going to deviate from it. And sometimes that path is not good for you.
Right.
Right? But it's the easiest path.
And it's familiar. Yeah,
Right?
that
And
part,
it's
yeah.
familiar. So in order to break out of that, you really need to reflect and say, when I'm in my wise mind, how do I build a new path? Right? How do I choose that? Because I can get all caught up in this and keep going. But
And it will grow.
that's the hope.
Yeah.
That's the hope. It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Rob, I know we try and stick to a certain cadence here, and you and I could probably talk the rest of the afternoon.
Okay.
So I'm going to move into what we've done for this series.
Right.
You're my final guest for the 4-part series this time. So you'll be the 4th person I'm going to ask the 7 questions of.
Let's do it.
And I know you did what Laura did, is listen, which is totally fine, but I just want you to give me the best Rob in the answers, okay?
I'm here.
So as we close out, not just this conversation, but the first series, I'm going to go ahead and ask Rob the questions. Here we go. Number 1. What's one small moment of joy that's been grounding you lately?
Salt.
Salt?
Kosher salt.
Really?
We've been taught certain things through time. One of them is, especially when it comes to cooking, don't use too much salt.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Don't use too much salt. And so you're carrying this whole paradigm of the way you see food.
Yeah.
Or your life. Don't do this, follow this path, don't do this. And then you get to this certain point in your life where you're actually doing your own cooking and you go, oh, the doctor told me I could have more salt. So oh my goodness, this salt, it really enhances the flavor of life.
Right.
This in front of me is fantastic. So why am I not
Creating joy.
creating joy
Through your
in
food.
my mouth?
Yes!
I love joy in
Food.
my mouth.
Food, yes.
Yes. And so, try to break down those things that you think have your assumptions about your
That's good.
path that are avoiding the joy because you are, given that mantle
information.
to carry with you when you think, oh, hang on a second, maybe if I just enjoyed the salt, life wouldn't. Oh,
There's some. You're creating.
doesn't mean I'm pouring it on every day.
No,
but
no.
I've got my kosher salt and I've got my finishing salt and my fantastic.
Okay, you have just really surprised me. That's why I wanted just you to give Rob answers.
Okay, that's a
Kosher
Rob
salt.
answer. Yep.
That was very layered. That's great. Okay, next question, Rob. Let's see what he's going to come up with now. When you think about resilience in your life, what's a moment you're really proud of? Now, I know you mentioned alluded to something.
Yeah.
But can you pick one? One
No.
that sort of, no?
I go back to the difference between resilience to me sounds like you're surviving.
Mm-hmm.
So my purpose now is to thrive rather
Okay.
than to survive.
Thrive, I love that.
But if I were to pick a moment where I've chosen that to thrive, that would be.
Are multiple popping up as you're thinking about it?
I wish it was. I don't have, I can sit here and list traumas of my life or list obstacles and list opportunities to pivot. What am I doing now to thrive? I am choosing to, this sounds corny, live the best way I can, the best way I can.
Well, it's probably a cliche, but it's probably true.
Yeah, but it's for people. Who am I living for? For myself, okay.
Good.
But the people around me who I care for.
Yeah.
I want their lives to be good. Not super special, but
No,
good.
but good.
And not drag them down. But let me support their goal or support their joy.
Support their joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did I answer your question?
Yeah,
Kinda
yeah.
maybe?
That's great. All right, next one. What does it look like for you to recharge when your capacity feels low, Rob?
Napping is
Napping.
good.
I love napping, too.
Tylenol for my back. Yeah. So
Another plug.
Yeah, another plug for Tylenol. But actually, and I was thinking about this, and this is something that I put on my plan to do when I'm in
Okay.
my wise mind. The thing that I do when I'm feeling down is do something for somebody else.
Okay. A
Right?
good way to do
that
that.
can be around the house, just, folding laundry or doing whatever. But it can also be volunteering in the community, planning to do something for somebody else actually brings me joy. Well, I'm going to do that. Yeah, there's some hurdles in between, and I don't like getting up at 5:45 to go and serve eggs and bacon, but
Right, 'cause
who
you-
doesn't like bacon?
That's right, 'cause you're a
Especially at
lion.
6:30.
That's right, you're a lion.
6:30 in the morning, bacon's the best smell.
Bacon is great. You just tapped on before I go to the next question.
Yep.
About creating and supporting others in their joy. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned wise mind. Can you talk just before we go to the next question a little bit about what your definition of a wise mind is?
It's the time, like right now, when we are reflective and we have the ability to keep things in check,
Okay.
but put plans in place for when things don't go well. Right?
Okay, I like that. That's great.
It's like planning a grocery list, right? This week I'm going to eat, did I
Kosher
mention
salt.
Kosher salt's on the list.
Always.
Bacon and some bananas. Fried bananas? That's a really weird combination, but hey,
Wow.
let's
But if it
try
brings
that.
you joy.
If it brings you joy, I don't judge. The ability to plan ahead
Okay.
is not something that everybody has, and I haven't had
True.
it either, especially when you're in a down. You know that this cycle is going to hit bottom at some point. So you mentioned the metaphor of a rock,
Yes.
right? And some people think that's stability. My metaphor for rock is the rock that is resilient in that it sees the wave coming. Not that rocks have eyes, but some of them do.
Oh, no.
Just paint them on.
Oh, right. Pet rocks.
Pet
Right,
rocks.
yeah.
But that wave at the beach that hits the rock and crashes.
Right.
You know it's coming, right? You let the wave hit you and wash over you. So
Oh, that's a good metaphor.
by planning for that wave to hit, you know it's going to hit. What can I do in those moments? And a
Yeah,
lot of that,
how do I feel?
a
Yeah.
lot of that's forgiveness.
Yeah.
And if you can forgive yourself, you can forgive the other guy too. And that's something I learned through divorce was it's not until you feel a sense of, I don't want to say sorry, but forgiveness for the other person for what? For being a human being?
Yeah. For being a human being.
You can't not be human.
Yeah.
So you get to that point in life where you're just like, well, I can choose to keep this drama and this stress and this acid in my stomach going.
Oh, yeah.
Or
God, all the physical attributes that come with it, too. Oh, yeah.
brutal. Or you can choose, okay, well, I'm going to take my acid reducer this afternoon and I'm going to go for a walk.
And go for a walk. Get outside.
Do something that on my list, that's what I have on my
Best
wise
things to
mind
do.
list. Pet the dog, have a glass of water, walk away.
Yeah. And some of it can be as simple, because I totally agree. Like, I appreciate you talking about how you see the wise mind, because those are things that I have too, that I know that if it's whatever it is that's bothering me, my strategy is 20 minutes. I'll put a timer on for 20 minutes. I might take the weighted blanket. But at the end of 20 minutes, I need to go to my list and pick one thing. It's the shift out now. Like, I'm not going to sit there for an hour and a half, because what's that going to bring me? I do need to sit because something in the brain is ringing through.
Yeah.
But like you said, something simple. Go take a shower.
Yep.
We'll make that phone call or go for
Reach
a
out
walk.
to a friend.
Just,
Yeah.
to try and switch it up. So I appreciate you.
It's interesting
giving
that you
some-
chose that 20-minute segment because meditation through TM is typically in 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20
In
minutes.
20 minutes. And I don't know whether it's something that we need that time to process, but if you can be reflective in that and say, there's all this going on, at some point you're going to choose the path of peace because your body needs it.
Yeah, and a lot of people too. I've used 20 minutes in other areas when teaching, or often tied it to when we used to watch TV shows that were half hour.
22 minutes.
The commercials
Yep.
and blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, as a strategy, and I would find that 20 minutes can get you into a flow if you're there. And then maybe it's longer, but some people say, oh, I don't have time. But I don't know. Sometimes if you need a phone call, how many times do you and I contact each other's 10 or 15 minute texting or a phone call?
Yep.
We can cover a lot, really, if we're open to, and we can be foolish for the 20 minutes too, but
Sure. And that's what we need sometimes.
because oftentimes people have that wait for joy, wait for resilience, wait to do this, when some of it is, I just need to reach out. Oh, you got 10 minutes? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You talk back and forth. I think some people have that impression. You got to have 36 hours for, I don't know. There's this big lop of time that you have to be able to do something. And I don't totally
I think
agree.
it's because you're a guy, Mike.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a long time ago, actually, a mentor of mine gave me a book by Deborah. I want to say maybe McKay and Fanning, but I think she's one of them. The book opens with a man and a woman driving down the road after having a very heated argument.
Okay, yeah.
And the woman says to the
I
man,
wonder if I've heard this one.
yeah, you probably had.
Yeah.
The woman says to the man, do you want to go for a cup of coffee? And he says, I don't want coffee at this time of night. And they drive on. What just happened? She said, I'd like to open negotiations and chat about what's here.
Right.
He heard, do you want coffee? No, I don't want coffee. Me man.
Go home now.
Go home now. So we speak different ways, but I think as guys, and I really appreciate this because it's very often that we hear women offering us advice about how to feel, but that's a whole other
Gets into a different basket, cup of coffee, a different
coffee.
cup.
Yeah, I think there's a different understanding. And honestly, as a father, you can see that girls at an early age handle language long before boys do. And the way we develop as human beings, women have different connectivity than men do. So when you and I call each other and are silly, that's just what we needed, right? And that grounds you.
Yes. And
But some other people need half an hour, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah,
that's what they need.
Right. Their own IP. Sorry, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Their own plan, personal plan is what I say. Won't say
Yeah.
IPP. Personal plan. And that's part of knowing yourself well enough to know that.
Well, if you listen to Laura's piece, episode 4, if you will.
3.
This is 4. My apologies. Math not so good.
Oh, that's right.
She talked a lot about her connectivity with friendships with her girlfriends. Just that, what she needs from them, and they just click because
Yeah.
they know. And that's a really great asset to have in life, is to have those people. Some friend of mine called them pearls.
Yeah.
They're pearls that you keep on a
Pearls.
necklace, and you build that necklace through life. And you die
just
rich.
Right. You get all the pearls.
All the pearls. Because
I'll send my pearls to you.
these people are the ones that attend your funeral.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Let's move on to question 4.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Who or what has been an unexpected source of strength or support for you? And there may be multitude. Like you
Unexpected
answered
is something that that kind of snuck up on me there with that question. My ultimate source of support and strength is my partner, my wife, my best friend. Unexpectedly, I think we were having marriage coaching
Yes.
several years ago, and there was a moment in time where we said to each other, divorce is not an option.
Interesting.
And so from a divorce guy,
Right.
that was humongous, unexpected support. You're never going to pull the rug out, right? That is a huge thing to have.
That's huge. Yeah.
Where you've both evolved in your relationship enough to say, you know what? Come hell or high water,
Let's do this.
we're
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're mad at each other for a day, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes it's a month. But ultimately, we settle down and we say to each other, you know, this is where we're at. This is what we're committed to doing.
And it sounds-
believe it. You can't get out of it. Well, it's not that you can't get out of it, but you've committed to not
Commitment.
leaving it behind, and you've committed to investing in it.
And doing hard things, because it must have
Absolutely.
had some hard parts to it
Oh
from
my
the sounds
gosh.
of it, right?
Oh my gosh,
For many
yeah.
people. And it kind of, again, we're quoting Laura again.
Yeah.
She said, you can do hard things.
I think we all can.
We can.
Yeah.
And having the support and commitment, I think, are part of that quotient that you're speaking to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ready for number 5?
Let's do it.
What's something you've learned about joy that you wish more people understood, Rob?
Joy that other people understood.
Yeah, what?
I had this laid out in my head because,
Oh, it's coming.
There it is.
Ding, there it is.
There it
I
is.
saw the light bulb.
you got to walk the talk. You got to model it.
Modeling
So
it. You've
for
mentioned that.
for people who I admire, if I want to be with them, I want to be around them, then they have modeled for me that joy, and that's something that I want to do for the people I love. You know, is to model that joy. So what I will do is I will sit down, have a conversation with somebody, and we'll talk about the small talk and what's bothering us. But before I leave, my ultimate question is always, so what are you going to do for fun this afternoon?
Yeah, I've heard you ask that.
Because if you're not having fun, you're not discovering what's really important. And you're going back to that, okay, I need to get back on my bike. Yes, I'm the kind of guy who hasn't missed a meal. But getting back on my bike is nothing like, it's like being an 8-year-old. You get to kick your feet and have fun. And fly down the hills. But yes, you got to go up them at the same time. So, yeah, just finding that joy.
Finding the joy. And you're hitting on the other part where I've mentioned to people recently when I've met up with them. I want to know the things you've done, but you don't have to justify being in front of me. It's not a competition that all of a sudden I've heard 45 things you've done the past 5 days. You might have been busy or whatnot. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the fact you're in front of me. You took time today to come and see me and to sit here. So I want more people to have joy in the fact, like, you're allowed to make decisions and choices. If you slept on the couch last night and took time to isolate and be in solitude,
that's what you needed.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's what you needed.
You tell me that or don't. That's here nor there for me. You're in front of me. Share what you want.
Take me as I am.
Yeah, take me as I am, because I have found there are people that after the conversation, I've learned, like, I'm actually tired. And what did I hear from them? I heard this whole litany.
Are you telling me I'm exhausting, Mike?
Yes, no. I'll let Carolyn tell you that.
Yeah.
No, but just that whole thing of, like you said, finding the joy, and I've mentioned that example of the trivia. Yeah, we have fun. Mm-hmm. I don't know if everyone enjoys everything we're doing, but I know I come home and I'm recharged, and we've had some sort of joke or whatever thing we thought was funny for that week, and we'll find something like we said tonight. Yeah,
but that builds those endorphins, and we downplay those endorphins a lot of times. We need to find those moments where you can, I when I used to run, I would always. A running friend of mine would say the hardest part is getting out the door.
Yeah,
and then as a runner, he would say, 90% of running is all psychological, and the other 10% is all in your head.
All in your head. I would totally agree.
You really just need to embrace it and find those opportunities for joy.
I think the next question you've sort of answered, but if you want to refine or reiterate, that would be great.
Depends if your audience is asleep yet.
No, they're not asleep. They're all listening. In your own way, how do you help create space for others to experience joy or resilience?
I think that in asking somebody, what are you going to do for fun today? Right? Instead of, or asking them, what's the greatest thing? We did this with our kids when they come home from school.
Right.
What's, something fun you learned today, or what's something fun you did today, or what's something neat that you discovered? All sorts of things. But versus saying, how was school? Good.
Yeah. And
how are your friends doing? Good. Like, okay, Mr. One Word.
Yeah, right. You're getting the one word answer.
That's right. So, as an adult, you ask the open-ended questions to your kids and to your friends. You keep doing it.
Yeah. Open-ended because you get more than one word.
What?
Okay. Last question. I caught you. And if you could go back and tell a younger version of yourself one thing about joy, resilience, or capacity, what would it be, Rob? What would you tell a younger you?
At one point in my life, I had a picture of me in grade 4 on the fridge because I would talk to him if I was having a binging issue. And so I'm talking to my younger self. And so part of me, the initial reaction as a guy is, suck it up, Buttercup. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, I'd look at that, what is grade 4? 9 years old.
Yeah.
I'd say to that guy, you're okay.
You're okay.
You're okay, and you can have fun. It's okay to have fun.
I like that.
Not everything has to be a burden or a perfection.
Why so serious?
Yeah. Why so serious? Yeah. Go break stuff.
I like that.
Right? Because you're going to have fun. You're going to learn. And same with my own kids. It's like if we've tried something, we've done a project or something, I've actually heard them say back to me once things didn't go the way we thought it would. Well, we learned not to do it that way.
I love it.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, I want to thank you for taking time to come in. I know I'm going to see you in a couple of hours because we're going to head out for trivia with Risky Quizness.
Yes. Good
so
team.
If you've been listening through the series, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the Space and Company and Alex, because choosing to reflect, to grow, to listen this way is part of the work I'm trying to do. And if there's one thing to carry forward from all of this, it's this. You don't need to have everything figured out to start building a life that feels better. And I think we've kind of covered that again today. You can begin with one small shift, one honest moment, one boundary, one pause, one choice to come back to yourself. That's how this builds. Not all at once, but over time. And maybe, just maybe, with a few more moments where your coffee stays warm, if you drink coffee. Or maybe it's you want kosher salt in your coffee.
Well,
I don't know how that would taste. This is the joy and resilience practice, helping you thrive one story at a time, stay rooted in joy, and keep rising in resilience. Thank you very much.